earlier to Majeed Gly from Erbil in northern Iraq. He's a political analyst for the Kurdish media network Rudaw. I asked how President Barzani's call for Kurdistan's full independence is being received on the ground there.
People here generally are excited about the idea. Kurds has long been oppressed during Saddam Hussein era, and after 2003 they helped the American to rebuild Iraq and join a new Iraq in a hope for democracy and federalism and autonomy for Kurds. But what people usually say is they are disappointed right now of all that process. At the withdrawal of the U.S. forces in 2011, the whole thing was changed. The Shiite-led government and especially the prime minister started marginalizing Sunnis and Kurds, and the policy of centralizing Iraq all started again. So Kurds are generally looking forward to get separated from Iraq, and right now for them separation is not just a dream or a nationalistic aspiration. It's actually a tool of survival.
You mentioned 2003, even looking back to 2005, this isn't the first time that Iraq's Kurds have demanded the right to a referendum. Why should we take these new calls for a referendum seriously now?
Well, if you look at on the ground, Kurds has less obstacles to get independent from Iraq. Before, there was a standing Iraqi army, a US-trained army on the border, south of Kurdish region, that could pose a military threat against Kurds. That army has basically gone in last month. And the second obstacle that's gone, it's the Turkey right now showed signs that they will be okay with Kurdish independence, also Kurds now have more economic potential to get independence. Now they hold this, they control the city of Kirkuk, this oil-rich part of Iraq.
But there are a number of hurdles, as you mentioned, to overcome. How could independence actually work?
Well, Kurdistan region has an experience of self-governance. After the annexation of Kuwait, and after that the U.S., the Iraqi army was defeated by the U.S., Kurds got no-fly zone by U.S. forces. Since the early 1990s, Kurds have this democratic experience in the region. They have their own parliament, their own government institution, their standing basically army, which is the Kurdish Peshmerga. This experience of the last 20 years proven that Kurds could rule themselves, could hold the stability of the region against threats from the different groups in Iraq.
And looking at their power, on June 12th, Kurdish militias seized oil-rich Kirkuk. Did this empower the Kurdish President Barzani in his quest for independence?
Definitely. I mean, Kurdistan region is still far away from an economic independence, though it's on the way. It was on the way to sell oil, and it already started selling one shipment of oil, and 3 are waiting to be sold in the Mediterranean Sea. But the Kirkuk is definitely, if Kurds were successful in selling Kirkuk's oil, then they will be economically independent from Baghdad.
An Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu has endorsed the independence of Iraqi Kurds. What does Israel get out of this?
Well, Kurds and Israel has long historical relationships. Since 1960s, there are reports about Israeli training Kurdish rebels against Iraqi state back then. And after 2003, there was the BBC reports and some other international reports about Israelis training Kurds in counterterrorism and helping the U.S. in battling the insurgency. And also, the Israeli used Kurdistan as a base. There are reports about it as a base to spy on Iran's nuclear weapon. So there are, let's say, a shared goal in the region.
Majeed Gly, political analyst for the Kurdish media network Rudaw. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.